Jackie appears eager to hunt down the Maelstrom's stolen treasures. Been practicing your dance steps, Raid, because we're about ready to run rings around Captain Malia and her squads. The Yellow Jackets have been pressing their investigations into the treasures, what was cloyed from the Maelstrom tub. But as you know, we've got our own network of codes what don't miss not of the goings on about town. As for the sharp end of the job, it'll be you, me, Underfoot, and the Stray. Let's get down to business, eh? The cab's late to the feast, so I'll just make sure we're all on the same page for the now. When you get down to it, we have 2 goals for this job. Bite back them 3 treasures and mill the codes which cloyed them in the first place. You can be sure that the Yellow Jackets sure will be doing their damnedest to beat us to the marks, and seeing as the fate of the guild is at stake, we best not drag our do-beaters on this one. I say we grapple them baubles before she's even lifted anchor, and give her a proper reason to rage against us rogues. You seem awfully keen on this contest all of a sudden, Jackie. Aye, well, here's the thing. I sent my grievance to the theocracy regarding the Shoes Challenge, but them paper shufflers don't care a whit as long as one of them gets the job done. So I figured I'd sail with the wind rather than against it. Besides, we wouldn't want to shirk our duties and force poor Captain Melia to blunder about in the scary Darkmans now, would we? How very gentlemanly of ye. Well, them's the cards we've been dealt, ain't they? Now stow your quips and let's hear what you learned about them bloody treasures already. Ah, the treasures. According to the manifest of the Maelstrom vessel, we look and fight back the Cerulean Star, the Civil Sorrows, and something called the Black Sarcophagus. Aside from the fancy names, I was able to whittle a few more details. The Cerulean Star, for starters, is a big old blue diamond which shines like, well, like a star, I suppose. Then we got the Silver Sorrows, a pair of earrings of which grace the wattles of the Sultana of Alda. There's a tale there, but one of them what doesn't concern us at present. Lastly, this black sarcophagus thing. I'm afraid that one remained a mystery no matter how much I poked and prodded. In any case, all 3 trinkets was recorded as spoils from official privateering raids. Now, as you know, a pirate will usually sell his plunder through a reliable fence. Sometimes, though, holding the auction is the only way to offload goods when too extravagant or just too bleeding rare for the average cull to deal in. Our 3 wondrous treasures fell into the auction-only category. When the betting began in Aleport, the theocracy weighed in with its ample purse, made some unmatchable offers, then organized a tub for the merchandise to be shipped back to Limsa. And that's when our marks swooped in and picked up their transport clean. I had a few wids with the Maelstrom sailors who had survived the attack, and they pointed the finger at the grinning curs. Problem is, not one called seed hide or hair of the curs, not to mention their bloody ship since the raid. Sorry I'm late, Jackie. You ought to hear this. Some of the cargo which cloyed that transport was just found during a routine inspection at the Lothagran checkpoint. Lothagran? Have the curs made landfall then? And what are the treasures? Any mention of them? Not that I've heard, but the Jackets ain't done shaking out all the boxes yet. Then we better get the eyes out there, quick like. Raid, Underfoot, you're fresh for a run, ain't ye? Come on, Colt, I'll race you out to the checkpoint. want to race? You owe me a pint, Raid. Japes aside, though, it looks like Vakemba was right about the cargo. From what I've been able to catch from the swads at the gate, it seems the peddler was bowed for carrying goods what was known to be aboard that transport. The cart of the poor sawed away and changed, but the cargo itself is still here. I saw a pair of jackets carrying boxes up that running ramp. We need to know what's in them crates. I get the feeling they won't open their gans for asking, though. Not while the Fool's Challenge is going on. Do you think you could skulk over there and see if they found them treasures yet? Two yellow jacket soldiers are inspecting the seized cargo. Approach them while cloaked that AR hide ability. Attempt to listen in on their progress. Yellow jackets are discussing the contents of the crates. This is all junk. No diamond, no earrings, and no bloody black sarcophagus. Looks like we'll have to lean hard on that skinny peddler to find them treasures. The sergeant says the merchant is still pleading ignorance. Claims he was hired to carry the goods through the checkpoint and not else. What a pile of bugle shit. I'm guessing the pirates split the cargo and are trying their luck at every checkpoint. Captain Molly has already given orders to double the guard and inspect every cart and wagon that comes through. So they fought not of value, eh? Benny, I thought we'd lost the contest before we even properly started. But be that as it may, something don't add up here. Why would you order a code to carry the goods through the checkpoint? No smuggler is that daft, surely. Even by some miracle, all the gods you squirmed through Lothagan without raising a fuss, why do you risk taking merchandise back to the city what you cloyed it from? No, there's a bigger picture, and we need to take a step back to see it. If some of the cars hired the peddler to do the dirty work, there'll be someone in the shadows that's brokered the deal. And I just happen to know a cove that makes its business to oversee these kind of shady arrangements. Thing is, this black marketeer bloke changes his haunts depending on how the breeze blows. Quite literally, in fact. I seem to recall the navigator's veil being shifted by a westerly this morning, so that would put him... to Tiller's Rest. Nice and close. Why don't we go ask him a few questions before we head back to the guild? I pride myself on memory for faces, but yours is unknown to me. Are you an earnest customer or an inquisitive annoyance? I must be sure of your intentions. This dance is old, but the name is new. Put away your daggers, rogue. I've peddled my wares to your kind since the upright thieves stalked the night. Speak, what would you have of this humble merchant? Still tormenting the coats, eh, Granddad? We've come for information on a smuggling job. There's this peddler which caught at the Lothagan checkpoint moving merchandise for the grinning curs. Pleaded innocence even though you had the screws to put to him. You wouldn't know aught about that deal, would ye? Every last sordid detail. Not a single grain of solid sand passes through the shadows without my knowledge. But such prickly wisdom lodges tightly in one's throat. What have ye brought to ease the pain of passage? Spare me the theatrics, Granddad. Here's your usual purse. The sum is paid, the deal is made. May my answers sate your fickle hunger. Your helpless peddler was indeed innocent. He was but a beast of burden employed by the associates of the grinning curs, and likely knew naught of his freight's tainted nature. A pawn, if you will, a convenient decoy. There are those amongst my acquaintances who specialize in providing such services. Aye, that's what I thought. The curs wanted that cull to get caught, and now the jackets have had a taste of waste of time yapping every shite pie that comes through their checkpoints. Meanwhile, the real treasures are hidden away in the Darkmans, along with the grinning curs. Not the Darkmans, Master Rogue. The Mist. Aside from traveling merchant, the Kurds' associates have spent coin on another piece for this little game. A navigator, one who has practiced in piloting a vessel through the Doxy's Pull. The Doxy? The gods only know how many ships sailed into that fogged soup and never come out again. And that's where you say the curs have gone to ground? Now there's a trick which took some bullocks. Once the haunted tub was sitting in dimmer in the mist, though, it would have been easy to have these associates of theirs ferry the junk goods to Laodicea. Then the canny coves just needed to wait for the peddler to get boned and draw the glaze of the yellow jackets inland. We need to strike now. As soon as they learn the coast is clear, they flee for open waters. A fair appraisal of events. Now you know the location of your marks, however, it will not be so difficult to track them down. The Doxy's Pull was once an impenetrable shroud, but ever since Calamity, the mists are far less constant. Narrow your search to the heaviest banks, and you'll soon uncover those who wish to remain unseen. But now, a warning. The mists conceal other dangers besides the dogs you seek. A careless step may land you upon the chopping block. The chopping block? You can't mean... Seems I found myself another lead to look into. You hurry on back to Jaggy and tell him what we've learned so far. About time, lad. You've gone so long I almost sent a stray after ye. What happened to Underfoot? So our marks and their bit and baubles are snug inside the Doxy's Pull, eh? I'll not discount the old man's warning, but we may not have been a choice to crash the curs and grabble them treasures. We board the ship right now, you, me, and Vikeb. I suppose we'll be needing ourselves a tub for the voyage. I'll have wids with Swarsent and see what the dry docks can spare us a wave of ship and a reliable crew. Get your kit together and meet us there. Alright, Raid, I pulled some favors, and there's a crew that will get us close enough to scamper aboard the Cur's vessel. We'll be cramped up on that deck. If we try to mill the whole lot at once, we'll soon find ourselves up against the rails, so we go in quick and quiet and try to knock them a few at a time. Well, Coat, you eager to test your sea legs? Right, no one's seen us so far. Let's get to work. I'll sink my stabbards into the captain. Those two back there are yours. Follow me, Raid. Rouse! All the way bloody out here! I don't know where you found us, but you'll never find what's left of you. Slippery bastards, let's see how quick ye are. Open the cage, let the growler off its shade. Jackie, I found me one of them treasures. Unless there's another fist-sized blue diamond on board, it's got to be the cerulean star. As for them other two babbles, I've tossed the cabins and been through the old ilm by ilm, but there's not else here. Well, we'll just have to ask old Sweet-like now, won't we? Spit it out, cur. Where are you keeping the rest of your treasures? Hey, you think I'd spill my guts out for the likes of you, rogue? Maybe you wouldn't at that. But what about this partner you're working with? We don't need no partner. So you're telling me this is all your own idea? You woke up one day and decided you'd take a maelstrom transport right off the coast of Airport, then disappear in the loving embrace of the Doxy's Pull. Not exactly your style, is it? You gritting curs are too bleeding famous for being the crew that turned their snouts at privateering in favor of keeping to the old ways. You've only escaped the Yellow Jackets' grip this long by crawling on your bellies and snatching scraps what fell from the table. You ain't the type to sink your teeth into a Navy-owned vessel, no matter the prize. Aye, well, maybe they ain't no profit in being cautious no more. The age of pirates is swift coming to an end. Miller won't be stopped, not by a piddling little crew like mine. That's why we've thrown our lot in with the executioners. That blue rock was just our share of the loot, the scraps from the table, like you said. If you want the other trinkets, you have to take it up with our new mates. One job at a time, lad. First we need to get these stinking coves in their tub back to the docks. Putting aside the issue, give them the orders. There's no doubt that these was the coves that raided the Maelstrom's ship. Now, for a punishment, what fits the crime? I was informed that a certain well-known pirate ship was spotted weighing anchor in Morby dry docks. I assumed that this was your work. Aye, you missed all the excitement, Captain. But never you mind. The cerulean star is back in Bob in our sneaky little fambles. Huh. And these must be the grinning curs. Degenerate fiends! How dare you apply your filthy trade in the Minson waters? How many innocent sailors were massacred that you might sate your vile avarice? Each one of your kind ought to be lined up and shot. A musket ball is the only answer for this rampant display of lawlessness. Wait. Do you mean to execute me just on the bloody docks? At least take the buggers into custody first. Handing them over for lawful punishment will satisfy the demands of the code just as well. We've already got the answers to our questions, so feel free to take them away. Do not presume to give me orders, rogue. You only managed to capture these villains and their ill-gotten treasure by employing unsavory and unconscionable means. Why, you've not more than pirates yourselves. These bastards ain't worth a true pirate's spit. The upright thieves was formed to protect us from ourselves. Now they're just hunting dogs for the admiral. Millerweb yanks the leash, and another buccaneer disappears. You rogues are traitors to your own kind. If it hadn't been for you... Aye, go on then. Blame me and my codes for your own failures. You knew what you was about when you defied the code. You knew that we'd be after ye. We're done here. There are still two treasures left, rogue, and I mean to claim them both. I can reconsider this contest of yours, Captain. Turns out the fish we're trying to hook is a shark, and it might just swallow you whole. What shark is he speaking of, and how can any pirate challenge the might of the Yellow Jackets? No, he seeks but to unnerve me. I'll wring the truth from these grinning curs, and we'll see who triumphs over whom. It didn't work on that ship raid. First blood is ours. How you take fighting a sea? There are a few of us can drop an opponent as quick as a rogue, but mind you don't exhaust yourself with just flaying your blades at the tougher coves. And that goes double for when your mates are on your flanks. If you notice yourself starting to flag, there's not wrong with pulling back from time to time and staggering your attacks with each other to keep the pressure on. I said it before, Cope, but you need I'll need you sharp enough to carve steel for what's to come. I'm afraid this will be more of a challenge than even what that little shrew was bargaining for. That's assuming the curs wasn't lying about the executioners. And the executioners are who I bloody think they are. Twixt you and me, though, I'm hoping the name is just some laughable coincidence. Jackie wishes to discuss the plan for recovering the remaining treasures. Oh there, Raid. We've a rough job ahead of us, and that's a fact. Matters are tangled enough with the Malala. It's Malala. Oh, whoops. Malala's smart, snapping at her heels, but we still managed to grapple that first trinket without too much of a fuss. Biting back them other two treasures, though, that'll be a different story. Once the stray gets here, I'll explain what, or more to the point, who we're up against. Alright, we've two babbles left on the list. The Silver Sorrows and the Black Sarcophagus. Let's see what we're at. Oi, what's Paramu got to? Underfoot, he's still looking to whittle the tail behind the bleeding sarcophagus. We'll not be calling that stickler until we at least had an inkling as what the bloody thing looks like. Treasures aside, I've been doing some digging on my own on these executioner allies of the grinning curs, and I'm afraid the name weren't no coincidence. Raid, you heard of the bloody executioners, I hope. It seems the curs was feeding from Bramble with one of those nation's greatest pirate powers. This ain't no ordinary crew of cutthroats, lad. With limbs to Lemensa, the bloody executioners wield a power and influence second only to the Admiral herself. It was none too fond of Mo Webb or her prohibition on piracy, and it was only the overwhelming threat posed by the Garlean Empire which eventually convinced them to play nice with the theocracy. But pirates ain't the only ones to play. Pirates ain't ones to play nice for long. Now that Hilfir ain't around to helm the ship, the solidarity of the bloody executioners has begun to show cracks. All the strongest captains and lieutenants have begun to form their own factions, and they are scrabbling to claim the top chair for themselves. Of course, not one bloody cove can agree with another on which way the executioners ought to sail. Among these new factions, though, is a group what's pushing to break free of the Admiral's grip completely. Turns out these reformists, as they call themselves, was the ones that took the grinning curs under their wing. Which means they've got possession of the last two treasures we yet to cloy. Rumors around town said that, even for the executioners, these coves are bloody and ruthless and not to be crossed. We should sit this one out, Jackie. Piss on Malala's contest. It ain't worth this kind of grief. We've been inviting the wrath of a crew so large and dangerous that even the Admiral ain't keen on coming to blows with them. If they ever came after us... Large or small, it don't much matter. They broke the code when they hit that maelstrom tub. Aye, the grinning curs are paying for that crime, but we'd be poor sodding excuses for rogues if we let the real culprits carry on unpunished. I mean to see this job to the end, and that means biting back them treasures and handing out proper justice to them as deserve it. But Jackie... Listen, with all the infighting going on at present, us stabbing a short blade into one faction's toe ain't like to bring the whole executioner crew down on our heads. Besides, them reformist buggers are so far split from the main mob that they've been avoiding the city altogether. Now it's about time we got to work, Raid. You're to track down our black market contact. I set him to looking into the Kur's new allies a while back, so he should have some answers for us by now. The veil was lifted by a southerly this morning. I'll put the old man at his haunt in Laurel Lawn to see ya. Here, take this sack of blunt and pay him a visit to the House of Sticks. That's Cobalt territory if you didn't know. The old man bribes with ore and hires the biggest and meanest sods as bodyguards. Just be ready for your approach to be challenged. Welcome to the House of Sticks, young road. You must excuse my hireling's enthusiasm for greeting visitors. Now, have you any cumbersome baggage of which I might relieve you before we begin our conversation in earnest? The leather bag contained what feels to be a substantial amount of gil. A heavy burden for one is your tender years to bear, but its weight has balanced the scales. The sum is paid and the deal is made. Let us speak of these reformists. This faction that so wronged the code now seeks to peddle one of its stolen treasures, the earrings better known as the Silver Sorrows. The deal, it is said, is set to take place at Costa del Sol. The buyer, a moneyed merchant from the golden sands of Oldar. Earrings will be out in the open, vulnerable. I would target the moment of transaction were I so inclined, as the gentleman up there by the cabin appears to be, for he purchased the self-same information. Though he attempts to disguise his identity, the stench of a soldier yet lingers. I know not where one such as he came to learn of my existence, but I suspect he works for a certain yellow-coated captain. Brave she is, but foolish. Stumble blindly into the underworld, and your groping hands will not save you from the holes at your feet. Sudden shall be her fall. Welcome back, Raid. What information did the old man have on them reformants? Looking to unload their earrings, are they? And all done, no less. Can't say I'm surprised to hear the buyers are from out of town. You won't find many Lamensons willing to melt coin on aught them coves are selling. Only the daftest of sods will go about funding them as means to pull down the admiral. Eh? One of Malala's lackeys arrived to the house afore ye? How did they know to... Bah! The curs we captured must have cackled during the Shrew's interrogations. We have to assume the Yellow Jackets know what we know, which means we best get our arses to Costa del Sol right bleeding now. I'll handle this one, Jackie. You and Ray can wait here for Piramu. Oh, Vikyeb, what the hell is she playing at? After her, lad, she knows this ain't a solo job. I told you to wait at the guild. I don't need... Well, it might be I could use an extra cove in the shadows after all. Jackie has his mind set on punishing the executions, but me, I just want to skulk in, cloy them silver bits, and skulk out. I reckon that if I can manage that with no one the wiser, then they wouldn't know who to come after. Finish the job without drawing me daggers, you know? I ain't exactly true to the code, but the shield of underworld honor won't stop them bloody killers from cutting me mates' throats and setting the sisters a glimmer. The guild's only place what offered to take me in a pirate stray like me, and I'll not see it burn to the ground. The deal's about to start. Say the word when you're ready. You're Benny to head in. Alright, here's what I know. The rich merchant what's come over from Ul'dah is some old maid of Master Gigi Ruju, the Colon as owns Costa del Sol. Gigi Ruju's taken his cards and dancing dells and pranced off down the beach someplace, giving over the use of the entire resort to this friend. Seems she didn't want an audience for a bargain with the reformists. Which, as it so happens, works out well for us. We'll wait until they're busy haggling over price and snatch the shells and opt the twig before they realize aughts amiss. Sound like a plan? There. The players have arrived, the performance coin counter and the old dun buyer are setting up on the southeast platform. Their earrings ought to be nearby. Hang about. What are all these other calls? The place was meant to be empty. I see some nasty looking blokes in old dun garb and... Are those mammoths? The merchants brought out a whole bloody entourage. I've gone ahead myself. I should have realized this job would never be that easy. We'll have to mill about a few of them bodyguards first, I reckon. You don't want to fight through a force of blades should you get caught sneaking about up on them narrow walkways. Jackie, I thought I'd... Stow your excuses, love. I know full well what you're on about. You start going soft on us, though, and it'll be like losing one of my arms. I can't take on the bloody executioners all by myself. It's only because I've got rogues like you and Underfoot and Raid here that the guild can take the jobs it does. When narcos walk the shadows, it's the bleeding pirates what do the trembling. Remember that, DeKeb. We ain't some two guild robbers who piss their breeches when their daddles are caught in a honeypot. We're the knights and the dockmen, and no bastard wants to go blade to blade with the likes of us. I see you not change your mind then. You need all the stabbings you can get, and I promise mine will be there when you need them. Benny, now let's carve a path to that platform and bite back them earrings. Becab, you hide yourself down by the docks in case the marks escape during the fight. Raid, you and me'll split up and mill the guards as we go. It's them puppets that concern me most. I suggest you crash them little buggers before they can spring from any rum fun. Creep in as close as you dare, then give them a good solid clout from behind. I ain't the most original strategy, but that don't make it any less lethal. Once you're done with the first group, slip back in the shadows and move on to the next. Not to it, eh? I'll head over to the back while you start from the front. Let's wrap this up before them jackets blunder and scare off our marks. This bastard's made of solid rock. Quick, get over here and start chipping. Now for them earrings. This is a private meeting. Remove these rats at once. rogues! No one mentioned about rogues! What the hell do you think you're doing? I'm conducting a business transaction on the behalf of the bloody executioners. Do you understand what that means? Do you know what they'll do to you? I am all frightened. Odd, then, that you're the one who's shaken. It doesn't matter to me who you work for. Your bosses broke the code, and we're here to collect. Those would be the Silver Sorrows, then. I'm sure you paid a caravan of coin for them shiny baubles, but I doubt they're worth your life. Let's have them, then. Oh, wait, damn you! You should know that this personage is an extremely influential member of the East Alinar Trading Company. Surely you have heard of it. If the threat of the reprisal will not stay your hand, then consider the political ramification of interfering with a foreign dignitary. The Admiral would not desire you to damage Limsa's relations with Aldar. Yes, exactly. I'm very highly placed in Aldar society. I have powerful friends that would not be pleased were you to mistreat me in any fashion. And you must understand, the Silver Sorrows are a historical treasure, a gift once bestowed upon Sultana Nanasha Odnasha by her champion. The earrings were later stolen from the royal vault, and we just lost hope of ever recovering them. That I might so easily purchase them is thus a miracle. The return of these trinkets will be... I mean to say, the Sorrows must be returned to Ulda. Can you not look the other way for the sake of my nation's pride? You must think me some dull-witted thug. If this deal was being made on behalf of your country, then why are you sneaking about and consorting with pirates? An excellent point. One might doubt the quality of your character were you to continue with these feeble fabrications. You need only entrust those earrings to me, should you truly wish to see them returned to Aldal, that is. After all, 'twas to fulfill that very purpose that the Thalocracy bid on the Sorrows in the first place. Bit late there, aren't you, Captain? I think you agree this round belongs to us. On the contrary, my dear scoundrel, I made the winning move the moment I knew you were dealing with the merchant of Ulda. I come bearing an official order of seizure authorized by the Admiral herself. You will not be harmed, but I must insist you cooperate in this reclamation of unlawfully obtained goods. Through Costa del Sol's private property, it nevertheless lies within state-governed territory. Come along quietly, and we need not inconvenience Master Jijiruju any further. These suspects will be taken in Yellow Jacket custody, and do not concern yourself with the Silver Sorrows. They'll be quite safe with me. I heard the news from Jackie. I don't think that it was Admiral's choosing to side with Malala, though. Probably just eager to reclaim the Silver Sorrows. Anyway, the bit about them earrings being cloyed from the Royal Vault turns out to be true. Seems some famous burglar went after him once he heard about the godlike agility that was said to bestow upon the wearer. Bah! The hell's take that canary-colored harpy. We might as well have handed the things to her on a velvet cushion. I'll go find Underfoot and help him with his digging. There's still the last treasure out there, and you can be sure the reformers won't be giving it up without a fight. Ah, you do that. Any luck to you, love. Ah, you there. You left before events had truly been decided, and I thought you deserved to know the score. The Ulda merchant has acquiesced to our request and surrendered the Silver Sorrows to our keeping. We've also apprehended the reformist accountant and will be holding him for further questioning. Oh-ho! Boning the associate of the bloody executioners. You Yellow Jackets don't flinch from your duty, I'll give you that. And what's this here about you buying information, Captain? I thought you'd sooner die than associate with elements of the underworld. I'll do what I must to stay ahead of this challenge, and that Marketeer's knowledge was vital to the case. 'Tis true I might find his practices distasteful, but he is no pirate. It is the fading area of piracy which I mean to consign to the history books, and this chapter will never be fully closed until every pirate-spawned relic, including you and your guild, becomes a thing of the past. valiant and forthright. These are the words which the Yellow Jackets live. It is the manner in which we protect Limsa Laminsa. I swore an oath on the graves of my sisters. No more shall the innocent suffer at the hands of these savage buccaneers, these unrepentant killers. And a grand oath it is. Me, I've got my frambles full of just keeping the code intact. But the code is kind of an oath too when you get down to it, and since I've sworn to uphold it, I've no intention of stepping aside and letting you trample over me and my codes. In fact, you better be giving in now before matters get proper serious. Just say you're sorry, admit defeat, and we'll leave it at that, eh? Your audacity knows no bounds. I am done wasting words. I shall reclaim the last treasure, and then I'll look out and victorious as your guild is dismantled brick by brick. That's the spirit, Captain. Just don't forget to keep an eye on them earrings. This city's crawled with rogues, you know. You could keep the sorrows in a bloody lockbox in the Coral Tower, but look away a moment and one of me codes will bite them beauties right back. Come on, Raid. It's back to the sisters for us. Oops. Oh well. Oh, shite. Well, after all that hard work, the shrew made off with the spoils. As far as our damn contest goes, I suppose that makes us even. It'll be the last treasure, this black sarcophagus, that decides the victor. Whatever the performance are doing to keep it bob, you can bet your grandmom's teeth there will be some blade work needed before this job is done. Get yourself ready for a proper scrap raid. Jackie's rogues have new information on the final missing treasure. I was wondering when you'd show up, Raid, but bugger me if you don't look ready to mill an entire crew of sods by yourself. And Benny, that you are, because we finally uncovered some hard facts about the last treasure. Won't be long before we cloy the winning piece and put the staff challenge to bed. Alright, I've gathered the other codes for a meeting, so let's get down to it. A long bloody last, the black sarcophagus has given up its secrets. Underfoot, you've some news for me? Aye, Jackie, I think half our trouble's within the truth that lay in calling this thing a nasty thing a treasure. Black sarcophagus ain't no Denver bobble. It's the Mach 51 Magitech mine, a bleeding prototype explosive that was bitten from an Imperial transport vessel. Even though it isn't that big, maybe the size of a small cargo box, they say the blasts have enough kick to incinerate a bloody behemoth. Seems the Guardians were meant to start production at their factory in La Nicia, then distribute the mines throughout Castor Marinum. Luckily, some plucky privateer cloyed the prototype en route then, eh? Experimental weapon. That explains why the Thalocracy was so bleeding eager to bid at that auction, and so reluctant to share the details with us. At least now we know the what, but there's still a question of the where. The Kurds delivered their bitten goods to the reformers, that much is certain. What happened to the sarcophagus after that, though, we ain't so sure. There's been reports of huge explosions or the like, or so either the executioners still have the mine, or they peddled it to some other buyer. Reformers faction came together out of their shared hatred for the Admiral and her ways. I'm guessing they didn't cloy the bomb just to sell it. What is it, Lonnie? A letter for you, Jackie. Says it's urgent. letter? Who's it from? The old man. I found it while I was sorting through our daily deliveries. Let's see now. Come to Thalos. I have urgent news. I've never known the old man to summon a customer. Not once seen him at his usual haunts for a while, so do you reckon he's some rum morsel he's dug up just for us? Aye, it could be. Raid, you and me are headed to Thalos. Underfoot, the cap, you to take another stab at pinning down the location of the sarcophagus. You're wasting your time, darling. We opened that Scragg's wrinkled throat bells ago. You cross the bloody executioners and you get what's coming to you. Did you like our message? We wasn't sure you'd fall for it, but a little mystery goes a long way, eh? Ah, now don't be like that, darling. Me and my mates don't have much choice. When the boss says go play with the rogues, then we've got to go play with the rogues. After all, we never asked you to come and ruin our game, now did we? And we don't give me no long-winded speech about your precious code. The performance vision stretches far beyond what them titled rules is good for. Once Captain Asibir takes command of the executioners, he'll give us back the teeth we lost when we submitted to the Admiral's leash. We'll be the terrors of the sea once more, free to rove and plunder in a new age of pirate glory. And I'll bathe in blood to see that age come and pass. I'll kick down ye shit stinking code and have all the sneaky heads on a chopping block. Like hell's you will, the only sense which being passed today is yours. Well there, darling, ain't you a fine-looking lad? I've heard all this prattle before. Free to pillage and plunder, is it? Aye, it all sounds grand, but you don't think of the price. That shite stinking code is the only thing that keeps you bloody coves from milling one another. Without Limsa Lamintsa to call home, you'd be adrift in an ocean of corns. But if you're so keen to keep the company of the dead, I'll be sodden happy to oblige. It was prettier if your gob's shut, but I see I'm out of my depth here. As much as I'd like to lop off your noggins, I'd have to be satisfied with dragging the two of you out into the wilds. Kicked you well out of the way, haven't I? Out with it, then. Ain't it obvious? You stubborn skags are looking to swipe our new toy, and my job is to stall ye. The captain has the mine with him right now. He's to show the rest of the executioners that he's got the stones to sit in the leader's chair. And what better way to do than executing the bitch which snapped the chains on our crew? He's targeting the Admiral himself? You plan to blow up the command room, ain't ye? Aye, and you need permission to panic. Of course, if you'd rather steer clear of this city, I'd be glad to keep you company right here, sweet meat. Think you can stop Captain Asibir? If you sprout yourself some wings, then you might still make it. We've got this mad Mort at our mercy, but she seems to be enjoying herself. I better drag her back to the guild and see what other information she'll spill. I'll need you back in Limsa as well, but you've got business at Fortmas first. You should find Captain Malala at her post there. Forget about the Sodden Challenge and tell her everything we know. Unless me judgment's well off kilter, she'll do what needs to be done. Oh, you're one of Jackie's rogues. You've come to steal the shells, have you? Well, you shan't have them. As you can see, they're safely clasped upon my very own... Huh? You're not here for the earrings? The Admiral, you say? And you're sure that these fiends are in possession of the sarcophagus? I must deploy more sentries at once. Do not think this voids our challenge, rogue, and you can relay as much to your impudent guildmaster. I suppose you can thank him for the warning as well. So the jackets are on the move. Benny, I've been listening to that addled pirate cackle since I got her back to the sisters, but she's given not what we didn't already know. And we know more than enough. I say we rally the rogues and go after that mine, before it blows up in our muns. Jackie needs you to join his rogues in an effort to reclaim the Black Sarcophagus. If the leader of the reformers, this Captain Asabir, is planning on milling the Admiral with a bang, then my guess is he'll be aiming to demolish the entire command room. You know the mizzenmast, yea? The tower that holds the Drowning Winch and Bulwark Hall, the Admiral's Bridge, and her command room are right at the top of it. Then you've got the district which surrounds the mizzenmast. That's the busy, beating heart of the city. Even with the threat of an attack, you can't just see it in the blink of an eye and call the whole thing Bob. Try explaining the danger to the Coles what live and work there, and they'll have you'd have a frightened, stampeding mob on your brambles. Nay, lad, our only option is to have ice snilch in every approach to the tower. I put the wid out to as many coves as I can and spread them through the streets. Your job will be cover the aft castle. Just wait and see, Raid. We'll get this Asabir, and his little bomb, too. The fog's picked up a grand night to roll in thick. This will make things interesting. Our presence on the streets is far too thin. What are the reinforcements I ordered? My apologies, Captain. There just aren't any more soldiers to spare. The bulk of our forces have already been assigned to guard not only the Admiral, but a number of other high-ranking personnel as well. Unacceptable! What would Commander Raynor be thinking? There are dangerous criminals stalking the city as we speak. Call in the squads from the outposts if you must, but I want to see our security tightened and the populace properly protected. But Captain, we can't be certain the pirates' plan hasn't changed. If we consider the possibility they've switched it to our target outside the walls, it would be folly to weaken those defenses. Huh, you've made your point, Sergeant. Return to your post. Once all is lost, it's far too late to question what one should have done. You seem troubled, sir. Perhaps I could be of assistance. Ah! I've been dying to meet you, lass. I came to set eyes on the bold yellow belly, which cost our crew a fortune in Aldan coin. You're an executioner, one of Isabir's men. You're straying too far into a world you don't understand, lass. Your eyes is fixed on the light of justice, leaving you blind to the chasm opening up at your feet. At least they say you died with your boots on. The yellow belly won't bothering us anymore, Captain. As for the mine, the lads have it primed in front of the wench by the time you get there. Good. Not long now, after we drag that bitch Admiral, her pretty tower, and all her simping curs down to the bottom of the sea. Then I'll raise our flag on the ruins of the mizzenmast and lead our brethren to return to the old ways of blood and plunder.
Should not have it, I suppose. Boss, wife's gonna kill me. Yeah? What's this then?
Not after the command room. It mean to bring up down the entire tower. If the mizzenmast falls, the bridges will follow. Half the city will. Please, you must help me. The danger far greater than me.
Please, I was just alive. Oh, no, I didn't see nothing. Didn't see nothing.
Please, you must send word. Someone must be told. How did you... Your valiant and forthright weapon. You could hear that single pistol shot from miles away. Weren't hard to guess what happened. I poked the yellow jackets on my way over. A healer will be along shortly. Bene, that means we only one last thing left to do. We have never been allies, but I beg of you. You must stop them. Save the city. Aye, lass, you know you don't need to ask. Taking down mad coves and biting back what has been bitten is our job. You all set then? Ready, Jackie? Always! Then let's go cloy that sarcophagus and fit Ashabar with a new coffin. Make for the Mizumas and find Ashabir. Many of them. I think the whole bloody crew is here. Bennett, you know I hate tracking down stragglers.
Can't stop us now, Sprags. Only 3 minutes until the show begins.
What? That's it then? Find and smash them detonators. Check up the routes going up and down. Raid, mill all the detonators. We'll keep these coves busy. light on the mine went out! Raid's disabled the sarcophagus! That's the bomb taken care of then. Now these bastards get our full attention.
Damn you rogues and your swindling code. Oh, their bloody heads for this. This one, but be glad I could be the king among pirates.
Status report.
The mine has been disabled. The engineers should soon have it safely removed. Our soldiers sustained some injuries in the battle with the reformers, but none were fatal. Also, the Admiral sends her sincerest gratitude.
Look, there she is! That's Captain Malala, the hero of Limsa Lominsa! Are you recovered from your wound, Captain? We heard that you nearly lost your life stopping the horde of pirates from blowing up the mizzenmast.
3 cheers for the Yellow Jackets. Our city would be lost without ye.
But wait, that's not how it... Sergeant, what of the rogues? Did they survive the battle?
I don't rightly know, Captain. All we found near the sarcophagus were reformers, either dead or strung from the rafters.
Alive, then. 'Twould seem we are deeply in their debt.
Captain, Might I have the silver sorrows from you now? We've been ordered to hand them over to the Commodore, along with the black sarcophagus.
Why, of course, the right here... The earrings! I could have sworn I was still... He wouldn't have! He stole them from me while I lay dying! That cad! I knew he was not to be trusted! Keep an eye on them, indeed. I should have known. You sure about this, Jackie? You should have clayed the sarcophagus as well. Yeah, I think she's earned it, don't you? If it bothers you that much, think of it as a trade. If you ask me, they look a bit daft. Well, I didn't ask ye. So the jackets ended up with the mine, and we got the diamond and the earrings, which means victory belongs to the Rogues Guild. You think Malala will leave it at that, then? I get the feeling we ain't done with her yet. I'd say we're done with her challenge, but you never know when our paths will cross again. We'll just have to see what Limsa's underbelly spits up next. Aye, the city ain't ever quiet for long. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you, Raid. If you ever need a trusty pair of stabbers by me side, I'll know who to ask. I'm off as well. Bloody starving I am. Don't forget to waffle a bite when you can, eh, Raid? You'd best head back to the sisters, too, before the shrew decides she'd rather hear us cry cockles. Been at work, Raid. Be seeing you soon. Oh there, Raid. It'll be nice to finally have a bit of rest, eh? The jobs never ends, but even a dimmer dammer like myself needs to breathe every now and again. And your adventuring mates must be wondering where you got to. That was a proper long assignment, but I'm glad you decided to see it through. You've proven to be a stalwart protector of the code, even if this ain't truly your world. When you walk back into the Lightmans, you'll have to find your own code to uphold. And when you do, you have the skills you learned from the shadows to help you defend it. Well, that's more than enough prattle out of me. Your travels might take you far and wide, Raid, but know ye always welcome here at the Sisters.